I'm going to show you how to migrate information and metadata from another database into a digital asset management system. Maybe you've been using a FileMaker database, Access database, or an Excel spreadsheet to track metadata and want to bring that information into your DAM without retyping everything. Or perhaps you need to copy information from one digital asset management system to another. The first thing we want to do is get our metadata into Excel. Tab-delimited files are a commonly used standard format for transferring data between systems, and most database systems and DAM applications have an export feature to save out metadata fields into a text file. Check the help documentation of your database or DAM system for instructions on exporting metadata into the tab-delimited file format. After saving out your text file from the source system, open it in Excel. In Excel, choose File, Open, select All Files, and then open the text file. On the text import wizard, don't worry about changing anything and just click Finish. Now we see columns for the metadata that was exported from the database we're migrating data from. In this case, I have dates, titles, descriptions, and subjects, along with some other metadata fields. When I import this metadata, the DAM system will need to know which files the metadata belongs to. In other words, the DAM will need to know where to put each line of metadata we see here. The DAM system needs a key to match up each line in my text file to a file in the system. To accomplish this, usually the file name or another unique identifier is used. If you already have a file name column in your text file, you're lucky enough to be able to move on to the next step. But in my case, I don't have a file name column. However, I do have a column that contains a database number. My old system used the database number in its file naming convention, which means that each file in my DAM has a file name that corresponds to that database number. But if we look at the database number, we can see that it doesn't look like a file name because it's missing a file extension. I could go through and manually add a .jpg to each row, but let me show you an Excel tip. Create a new column called File Name, select the cell below, press the equal sign on your keyboard, and then on the same row, which should be the second row, click on the field that contains the file name that's missing the extension. Type in ampersand quote .jpg quote and press return. If you're working with another file format, replace the JPG part with the correct extension. The field should now contain the complete file name with extension. You might be thinking, that wasn't much of a time saver. I could have just typed that in. Well, let me show you the best part. Select the cell that contains the complete file name. You'll see a small black box in the lower right-hand corner of the cell. Double-click the box to expand the Excel formula all the way down the column. Next, we'll save the file. Choose File, Save As, and be sure to save the file as text, tab-delimited, or whatever format your DAM system supports for import. I'll call my file DAM metadata import. Choose Yes when Excel asks if you want to save into the tab-delimited format, and close Excel. Since we've already saved our file as a tab-delimited format, choose Don't Save when Excel asks to save changes. Now I'm ready to import my metadata into my DAM. I'll switch over to my DAM, where you'll see that I've already cataloged the photos from the other database. How you get the photos or files from the source DAM system or database will depend on the type of system and how it's set up. In most cases, you should be able to get a folder or folder hierarchy of files that can be cataloged into the destination system. If I switch my view, we can see that I've already set up fields for my metadata import. All I need to do is import my metadata. In this case, I'm using the Extensys Portfolio Server's desktop client for my DAM. I'll go to File, Import Field Values, and select the metadata file I saved from Excel. In the window that appears, I need to tell the DAM how the metadata in the text file relates to the fields in my catalog. On the left side, I see all of the fields in the text file, and on the right side, I see all of the fields in the catalog. I just need to make sure that both sides match. I just need to drag the items up or down on either side and make sure that they line up. I also need to make sure that each field I want to bring in is set to import by choosing the correct option in the middle for Assign to this field. If there's a field I don't want to import, I can choose Skip Field. Finally, I need to tell my DAM which field to use as a key. As I mentioned earlier when we were in Excel, in most cases you'll be keying off of the file name, so I need to make sure that key on this field is set for the file name. This means that when the file name in the text file matches the file name in my DAM, a match is made and that line of metadata will be imported into that file's record. I'll click Import and my metadata will be pulled into the system. Now that my metadata has been imported, it's available for searching and viewing within my DAM. For more tips and resources on digital asset management, visit extensys.com/DAM Center or follow @DAMGeek on Twitter.